Hello guys. Today I will be doing the final exam review. So please make sure you write down notes because you might be able to use your notes during the final exam. I haven't talked to Ms. Blanco about it yet. So I can't give you a for sure answer, but for sure I will be giving you 15 points extra credit if you do take notes, okay? And also, just to show you guys real quick, I have posted the final exam review on Schoology as well. It's this one right here. And this is going to be due Monday at midnight. So please make sure that you do it. If you watch the video, you should get a 100 because I'm literally going to go over every single question. Okay? All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So, which shows the equation 10x plus 3y equal 150 in slope-intercept form? So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so that means that the y has to be by itself. So you should know how to solve for y by now, okay? So if I have 10x plus 3y equal 150, I solve for y. I move what's furthest away from the y. What's furthest away on the left side of the equal sign? The 10x or the 3? 10x, right? So how do I move that 10x to the other side? That's a positive 10x, so I'm going to do minus 10x here, and I have to do it to this side as well, okay? 10x minus 10x, that turns into 0, so that's gone. And then we clean up our equation, okay? So bring down the 3y equal, can I do 150 minus 10x? No, I cannot because the 150 does not have an x. So I rewrite it. X comes first. That 10x right here, is it positive or negative? Negative, right? So negative 10x. That 150, is it positive or negative? That's a positive 150 because I don't see a negative next to it. That means it's positive. So I need to put plus 150. Okay, almost done. I still have to get the y by itself. Remember, whenever two terms are next to each other like this, that means that they're being multiplied. So in order to undo that, I have to divide by 3 here, divide by 3 here, divide by 3 here. This goes away, and let's clean it up. Y equals negative 10 over 3x. I'm going to leave that as a fraction because it can't be reduced. And 150 divided by 3 should be 50. Okay, so there, I solved for y. And which one looks like that? Not this one, not this one. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Let me back up. This one does. This one does, right? So, whoops. This one does. So my answer is actually B. This one, they didn't put the negative. This one, they didn't put the 50, right? All right, moving on. Let's see. How can I? Oh, how do I? Whoops. Let me. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to scroll down. Oh, there we go. Okay. By the way, there's like 3 questions like that on your final exam, so you have to make sure you know how to solve for y. All right, what is the solution? So solution, think about x equals, okay? X equals what? So whenever you have this, so you could distribute. You could do -4, 2x plus 3 equal 2x minus 2. You could distribute, that gives you negative 8x. Negative 4 times positive 3 is negative 12 equals 2x minus 2. I have 2 x's, I only want 1, so minus 2x minus 2x. Negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10x minus 12 equal negative 2. I could do all that, right? I'll let you solve the rest of it. But I can also use Desmos. Okay, so to do it in Desmos, I'm going to show you the easy way. So you're going to type in -4, 2x plus 3. So -4 parentheses 2x plus 3 on the first line. On the second line, you're going to type in the right side, 2x minus 2. 2x minus 2, right? Now you look at where they cross right here. What is the x value? -1. So that's your answer. Your answer is -1. That's the easy way to do it. You could do it this way. the long way. But whenever you take your final exam, you're trying to do it fast. So just type it in decimals, okay? Same thing for this one. Which equation has no solution? So no solution means you have two parallel lines. They never intersect. So here, literally just look at if they're parallel lines, that means that they're going to have the same slope, right? So you could type it into decimals, type this into decimals, and then type this onto decimals. 12 minus 3x, let's see. So I'm going to have 12 minus 3x, and then the other one was 7x plus 3. So 7 parentheses x plus 3, and then minus 10x. Minus 10x. Look at where they cross. Do they cross? No, I don't think they do, right? So they might have the same slope. They might have the same slope. So let's see, 7x. Yeah, they might have the same slope. So that's a maybe. Let's try this one now. Negative 14 minus 7x. Negative 14 minus 7x. Whoops, messed up. Minus 7x. And then 7 parentheses 2x plus 2. 7 parentheses 2x plus 2. They cross. That means that it does have a solution, so it's not that one. So let me cross this one off. Let's check C. 18x minus 6. 18x minus 6. And then I have negative 3, 2 minus 6x. Negative 3, 2 minus 6x. Well, look at that. They're the same line. Okay? Whenever you only see one line, check right here and click it. And look, you see how it's changing from blue to green? That's because it's the same line. So it's not that one. And it's not this one. I'm not going to waste time showing you, okay? So the answer was A. All right? For this, you have to know that no solution means that they have parallel lines. All right, moving on. Let's see. Which shows the equation this rewritten after applying the division property of equality. So you could solve this by distributing. Remember, anytime you have parentheses, you want to get rid of the parentheses first, right? But whenever you have like a fraction, we don't want to deal with the fractions. So what I could do, instead of distributing and dealing with those fractions, I can multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, the reciprocal is just flip the 2. You're not going to change the sign. This is not the opposite reciprocal. You're still going to keep that negative, but it's going to be negative. You're going to multiply. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that. Let me erase that actually. You're going to multiply by negative 5 over 1 here, multiply by negative 5 over 1 here. So these cancel out, and you're only left, and the parentheses goes away. Negative 2 plus 7p equals, what's negative 5 times negative 5? Remember, negative 5 over 1 is the same thing as negative 5. So this is not really a fraction. It's actually this number right here. So negative 5 times negative 5 is just positive 25. So which one looks like that? Negative 2, I think this one, right? Yeah. All right, so that's how you do that one. There is one on your final exam that's very similar to this. Don't be tempted to distribute. Don't do it, okay? Just multiply that fraction by the opposite reciprocal. All right, moving on. What value of x makes the equation true? Same thing. You're going to type this in line 1 and decimals. You're going to type this in line 2 in decimals. And let's see if they cross. So let's do it real quick. 6, 1.5x minus 2. Whoops. What was that? No, stay in the call. Sorry. Because that happened last time and then I had to restart the video. Okay, anyways, 3x minus 0.5. Let's go here. Okay, 3x minus 0.5 parentheses 4 plus 8x. Okay, so you can clearly see that this has a solution. What's the solution? 1, -3. How many times is it crossing? Just one time. These are not parallel lines, so it's not going to have, is no solution because these are not parallel lines, right? Infinite solution means that they're the same line, like this. So it's not that one either. What value of x? So they want to know what's the value of x. So let's go back to our decimals. What's the x value? 1, right? So our answer is D. Okay? All right, moving on. Julia is saving money in her bank account for some new iPods. Her uncle gave her $100 for her birthday, and she is saving $50 per week. Okay, which equation can be used to determine the amount that Julia will have saved y after x weeks? So we have y equals mx plus b. B is your starting point. M is your slope. So whenever you have a word problem, whenever you see the words like per, each, every, rate, this means that that's your slope. So our slope here is 50 because of that word per. So that means I'm going to have 50x. Which one has 50x? Not this one. Not this one. It's between these two, right? Well, her uncle gave her $100. So that's plus 100. So it's not this one. It has to be this one. Okay? Pretty easy. You just have to make sure that whenever you see these keywords right here, that is your slope. Okay? All right, moving on. What is the solution set for this equation? So for this one, you can't really type it in decimals. This one you are going to have to solve for it. So remember, we distribute. What's 5 times 3? Anytime you have parentheses, you have to solve for that parentheses first. Okay? Think about PEMDAS. P stands for for parentheses. So do that first. So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times negative x. Well, remember, there's an invisible 1 right here. If the number doesn't have if the variable doesn't have a number in front of it, it's always going to be an invisible 1. So 5 times negative 1 is just negative 5, and then we have our x. Don't forget your x. Greater than negative 4x plus 11. Let me rewrite it over here because I'm running out of space. Okay, so I have two x's, I only want one. Look at where the x is. It's on the left side, so that means that I want to move this one over here. So I'm going to do plus 4x, that goes away, plus 4x here. Clean up your equation, so bring down the 15 because I didn't do anything with it. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1x. So now I want to move the 15 to the other side. So I'm going to do minus 15, minus 15. So I get negative 1x greater than 11 minus 15 is negative 4. And I still have to get rid of the negative because I want to get the x by itself. So remember, whenever there's two terms next to each other like that with nothing in between them, that's multiplying. So in order to undo that, I divide by negative 1 here. Divide by negative 1 here. And remember, what happens whenever you divide by a negative? Whenever you have an inequality like this, the sign flips. So this is a greater than, it's going to become a less than. Negative 4 divided by negative 1 is just positive 4. So you have x is less than 4. So it's not this one, it's not this one. It has to be this one, right? All right. Let's move on. What is the solution set for 30 minus, okay, so again, same thing, but now we're solving for y. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite it over here. Less than or equal to negative 12y plus 102. So I have two y's. I only want to get one y, right? And the y is on the left side. So that means that I want to move all my y's to the left side of the inequality. So I have to move that negative 12y to the left side. So in order to do that, I undo it. I do the opposite. And same thing here. So add 12y. Bring down your 30. Let's clean it up. Negative 4 plus 12 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? I mean, sorry. Negative 4 plus 12 is 8. My bad. That's a positive 8. 8y. And then bring down your inequality. 102. And then I need to get all the numbers to the right side. Okay, in other words, I'm basically solving for y here. I'm trying to get the y by itself. So I move this minus 30, minus 30. So I get 8y is less than or equal to, what's 102 minus 30? I'm gonna have to go to decimals real quick because I can't do mental math like that. 72. Okay, so 72. And then remember, what operation is it whenever I have two terms next to each other like that? That's multiplication. So I divide. Divide by 8 here, divide by 8 here. I did not divide by a negative, so I don't flip my sign. The sign stays the same. 72 divided by 8 is 9. So which one looks like that? Not this one, not this one, not this one. It has to be this one. Okay? All right, moving on. So this one, I'm pretty sure you guys forgot how to do this already because we went over it for like one day. So we're going to go over it again. But there's like 2 or 3 questions like this on your final exam. So please make sure that you know how to do this. Okay, which graph shows the solution to the inequality? So remember, we have to solve for x. So I already see parentheses. That means that I'm going to distribute. I'm going to rewrite it because it's a lot and I don't have that much space, so I'm gonna rewrite it. So 3 times 2 is 6x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Bring down everything else. Well, actually bring down the inequality, and then I'm gonna have to distribute over here as well. 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times negative 3, negative 6. And then bring down the plus 23 because that was not inside the parentheses. Okay? So I already see that I have 2 numbers here that I can combine. Remember, we're combining like terms. So bring down the 6x minus 3 greater than 10x. What's negative 6 plus 23? Let's see. Negative 6 plus 23 is 17. Okay, so that's a positive 17, so make sure you put plus. How many x's do I see? I see 2 x's. That means that I want to move one of them to the other side. So let's do minus 10x here, minus 10x here. That goes away. 6 minus 10 is negative 4x minus 3 greater than 17. Now I'm basically solving for x now, okay? So I have to move what's furthest away from the x. What's furthest away? The negative 4, the negative 3. The negative 3, right? So I'm going to do plus 3 right here. That goes away, and I have to do it here as well. So I have negative 4x is greater than 20. And then here, what operation is this? This is multiplication because there's nothing in between them. And it's like they're attached to each other, right? So I divide by negative 4 here, divide by negative 4 here. That goes away, and I'm left with x is weight. I divided by a negative. What does that mean? That means that instead of it being a greater than sign, it had to switch it to a less than sign. 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. So remember, whenever you have less than or greater than, this is open circle. Whenever you have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, this is closed circle. So here I have open circle. So already right off the bat, B is not it because B has a closed circle. D is not it because D has a closed circle. Okay, so it's between A and C. Which one is at negative 5? Negative 5, they're both at negative 5. One is shading to the left and one is shading to the right. So the shaded part is the red part, okay? So if x is less than negative 5, that means that I need to shade the direction where all the numbers are less than negative 5. Well, if I shade to the right side, the numbers are increasing. That's not what I want. I want that the numbers are less than negative 5. If I shade to the left side, that's what's happening. So my answer is C. Okay? So that's how you do that. Please, please, please make sure you know how to do this question because I'm telling you, there's like 3 questions like this on your final exam. Okay? And if you don't know how to do it, please come to tutoring and I will help you. Or just email me. All right. What is the value of f of 11 given the following equation? Okay. So look right here. What's inside the parentheses? There's an x, right? What's inside this parentheses? 11. So that means that x is equal to 11. So everywhere I see an x here, I'm going to replace it with 11 because x is 11. So for f of 11, I have 2 parentheses squared plus 4 parentheses plus 7. I'm putting parentheses everywhere where the x should belong. Okay? So instead of putting x though, I'm replacing it with 11. Now you type this into the calculator and you get your answer. Do not type in the f of 11, okay? That's just how I write it, but you don't need to type that into the calculator. You only type in this. So let's do it. 2 parentheses, 11 squared, okay. So 2 parentheses, and I can delete all this. I don't need any of this. Squared. By the way, if you don't know how to put a squared, the squared is right here, okay? And what else was it? Plus 411 plus 4 parentheses 11, and then plus 7 plus 7. So 293 is my answer. So my answer is just positive 293. All right, moving on to question 11. All right, consider the graph equation below. What is the equation of the line that passes through this point and is parallel to the graph equation? So they don't tell you what the slope is. You need to find the slope. Remember, pick 2 points. 2 good points to always pick is your y-intercept and your x-intercept. And you're going to do rise over run. That's your slope, m, right? So rise, you either go up or down. Run, you always go to the left. Or to the right. So if I read my equation, if I read my graph, I always read it like how I read a book. From the left side to the right side. So if I'm going in from the left side here, okay, I'm going to touch this point first, right? That means that I'm trying to go from this point to this point. So am I going to go up or down to go from here to here? I hope you said down. So you're going to go down 1, 2, 3. So I went down, so that's -3. Over 1, 2, 3. What's -3 divided by 3? -1. So that means if it's parallel, they have the same slope. I just found out that my slope is -1. So that means that I should have y equals -1x. Okay, this one doesn't have -1x. This one does, all the other ones do. Okay, so now, let me scroll back up. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Now I need to make sure that it passes through the point -3, 2. So I use my formula, y equal mx plus b. Remember, the point is -3, 2. Okay, so what is y? This is x, this is y. Y is 2, so I'm going to plug in 2 right here. What is m? M is -1. What is x? X is -3 plus b. I'm trying to solve for b here, okay? Well, what's -1 times -3? +3. Bring down your b. How do I get that b by itself? Move the 3. -3, -3. So that goes away. What's 2 minus 3? -1. So I should have that y equals mx plus b. So y equals my m. Remember, my m was my slope, -1. -1x. What was my b? -1. So which one has -1x minus 1? Oh, what happened? Oh my goodness. No. What's happening here? Oh. Sorry, guys. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. So frustrating. Okay, so my answer should have been D. Okay? All right, moving on. What linear function models a table of values? So for this one, all I'm going to say is stat on your calculator, okay? For this one, don't use decimals. You're going to go to stat. I'm going to just write down the steps for you. You're going to go to edit. You're going to go type in your values. Type in L1, L2. Remember, L1 is your X, L2 is your Y. And then you're going to go back to stat. Then you're going to go to calc. Then you go to lin reg number 4. Okay, don't do the other one. Lin reg, and then you go to calculate. And then you're going to is going to say y equal ax plus b. It tells you what a is. It tells you what b is. You plug that into here. You plug that into here, and you get your answer. Okay? I don't have a calculator app on my computer, so I can't show you, but by this time of the school year, you should know how to do this. All right. Anyways, moving on. Okay. There's like three questions like this on your final exam, so pay attention to this one as well. A line has a slope m equal 12, and the point -2, 8 lies on the line. Which of the following represents the line? Well, we have to use the slope intercept formula. So remember, y equals mx plus b. So I know that this is my x, this is my y, this is my m. What is y? 8. What is m? 12. What is x? -2. And I'm trying to solve for b. Okay? So what's 12 times -2? -24. Bring down your b. I'm trying to solve for b. That means I need to move the -24. So I do plus 24 here, plus 24 here. 8 plus 24 is 32. So that's my b. Okay, now I go back to this equation and I plug it in. Y equal, what was m? M was 12. So 12x plus b. What was b? 32. So which one looks like this? D, right? All right, moving on. All right, this was a drag and drop. So given the points, what equation matches the description? So given these points, -4, 1, 4, 3, you're going to label it x1, y1, x2, y2. So it's going to be, you're going to use this equation right here. You have to find the slope first. So m equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What is y2? 3 minus what's y1? 1 over what's x2? 4 minus x1? -4. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus -4, that's 8. What's 2 divided by 8? 1 over 4. Okay? I'm doing this in my head. You type it in the calculator. You go to alpha y equals, enter, and you type this in. Okay? So 1 over 4. Which one's the only one that has a slope of 1 over 4? This one. So you're going to drag this one up to here. For this one, the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So x equals 0 at 4. So that means that if I have y equals mx plus b, this right here should be 4. So I'm going to have y equals mx plus 4. Just from knowing that, which one's the only one that has a 4? This one. So this one goes up here. Slope is 4. Well, which one's the only one that has a slope of 4? This one, right? So that one's going to go right here. But let me show you how to do it, actually. Let's say you don't know that, right? Well, you're going to use the y equals mx plus b. This is x, this is y. So y is 3 equal m is 4, x is -2 plus b. I'm trying to solve for b. By the way, if I'm talking too fast or if I'm explaining it too fast, just rewind the video. I'm trying to make this video short, so that's why I'm like kind of rushing through it, but you can always fast forward or go back. Okay, so what's 4 times -2? -8. Bring down the 3, bring down the equal. Solve for b. So add 8, that goes away. 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have that b is 11. Which one's the only one that has 11? This one, right? There is a question that is pretty much exactly like this on your final, but it has different numbers. Okay, so make sure you know how to do this one. This one also, okay, this one is literally exact, like one question from your final. So please make sure you know how to do this one too. What is ax plus by equals c in slope-intercept form? Remember, slope-intercept form is when you solve for y. So ax plus by equals c. Don't freak out because there's no numbers. It's the same thing. You're trying to solve for y, put a box around it. I move what's furthest away. What's furthest away? Ax or b? Ax. So minus ax, because that one's a positive. Minus ax here. Let's clean it up. So I have by equals c minus ax. Divide by y by b. Remember, I'm trying to get the y by itself. and I have to move b. What operation is that? That's multiplying, so the opposite of that is to divide. So divide by b here, divide by b here. So I get that y equals c divided by b minus a over b x. Which one's the only one that looks like that? Don't get thrown off by the fact that this is not in the same form as this, okay? So you should have c over b. This one has c over a, so it's not that one. This one has c over a, so it's not that one. This one has a over b. This one has a over b. Okay, good, maybe. Let's rewrite this, because remember, you're used to seeing it like this. Y equals mx plus b, right? So that means that the x has to be in front. Well, that a over b x, is that positive or negative? It's a negative, right? So I'm going to have negative a over b x. The c over b, is it positive or negative? It's positive, so positive c over b. And which one looks like that? This one, right? So that's my answer. This one is literally a question from your final exam, so know how to do this one. All right. Another one that's very similar to the final exam. They're going to give you a question and they're going to say, okay, these are the steps. Did they do it right? Is there any mistakes? Well, remember, you see parentheses, they should have distributed first. Remember, if there's no number here, is an invisible 1. So I have 5. What's negative 1 times x? Negative 1x. What's negative 1 times 2? That's negative 2. Bring everything else down. Did they do that step right? Yep. Okay, moving on. How many, before I move the x, I have a 5 here, and I have a negative 2 here. I can combine those. What's 5 minus 2? 3. So 3 minus 1x equal negative 3x plus 6. Does that look like this one? Yes, it is. So even though it's 3 minus x, and here it's negative x plus 3, those are the same thing. You just rewrite it. That's it. But it's the same thing. So they did it right. Next one, how many x's do I have? I have 2. I want to move 1, so I'm going to move this one. Okay, that goes away. 3, what's negative 1 plus 3? Negative, or just 2x, sorry. Negative 1 plus 3 is just positive 2x. Did they do that right? Hold on. Oh, wait, they skipped a step. Hold on, I'm trying to see what they did here. Oh, I see what they did. Let's back up. So they didn't do anything wrong. The only thing, instead of moving the x first, they moved the numbers first. But this is still correct. But let's do it how they're doing it, okay? So let's erase this. So remember, instead of moving the variable first, they decided, I'm gonna move that 3 first. So they got the minus 3 here, minus 3 here. So negative 1x equal negative 3x. What's 6 minus 3? Just 3, right? So now it looks like that. You see that? So they didn't mess up. They still did it right. Now they were like, okay, let's move the x now. So I'm going to do plus 3x plus 3x. Well, negative 1 plus 3 is just positive 2x. And then last step is to divide by 2. Did they do that? Yes, they did. So there's no mistake here. Okay? So a little mistake that I made, I was like, I'm going to move the x first. Well, it is not really a mistake because I would be right. I would still get the same answer. But just know that there's many different ways of doing it and you will still get the same answer. Like if I would have moved the x first and then the numbers, that's fine. But they decided to move the numbers first and then the x, which is also fine. Okay, here's another one that's very similar to your final exam. So solve for h, solve for the height. So I have a equals 1/2 base times height. I'm trying to get this by itself. Remember, I have to move the 1/2 and the b so that the h is by itself. I want to get, right off the bat, I want to get rid of that fraction. So remember, to get rid of fraction, you multiply it by the reciprocal on both sides. That goes away. 2 over 1 is the same thing as just 2. So that's 2a equal bh. Now, what operation is it when there's two things, two terms next to each other with nothing in between, that's multiplying. So in order to undo that, I divide by b, divide by b. This goes away, they cancel out, and I have 2a over b equal h. And which one's the only one that looks like that? This one. Okay. All right. Which equation represents the graph G? Black line is f of x, blue line is g of x. Okay, so let me label it. This is f of x, and this is g of x. Okay. Well, the first thing that you might be tempted to do is to just type these answer choices in decimals and see which one looks like that. But you have to remember, f of x equals x. So you type that in first. So let's go to decimals because that's your original, that's your parent function. So f of x equal x. That's the original, right? Now I'm going to type in my answer choices and I'm going to see which one looks like that. Which one is more, because remember, the blue line becomes more steep. So think about it like this. If you were to go up a mountain, would you rather go up the black mountain or the blue mountain? Probably the black one, right? Because the blue one would be harder to walk up because it's more steep. So that's what I'm trying to find whenever I graph these other ones. Which one looks more steep? So A is 3 parentheses f of x. So I'm going to have g of x equals 3. Wait, did I do that right? Yeah, g of x equals 3 f of x. Let me make sure I did that right. Yeah, 3f, like that, right? Does it look more steep? It does. So let me unclick that one. And now I'm going to type in b just to make sure that I'm doing this right. 1 over 3 f of x. Okay, this one looks less steep. Like the red one would be easier to climb, right? So it's not b. F of 3 parentheses x. Oops, I messed up here. F parentheses 3x. Okay, this one is also a maybe. And then last one, 1 over 3. No, wait, I think it was inside the parentheses. 1 over 3x. But definitely not that one, right? So it looks like it might be one of these. And on the final exam, it's gonna tell you, like horizontal or vertical. So if it's horizontal, it's inside the parentheses. Vertical is outside. Okay. So here I didn't specify, but both of these equations are the same. Okay. Oh, not that one. Sorry. These two, they're the same. Okay. So I think that I put that the answer was A, but the answer could have been A or C. So that was my mistake. I should have specified, but I didn't. But on your final exam, they will. Okay. That's how you do that one. All right, moving on. Find the x value of the following systems of equations. So remember, the y has to be by itself for you to graph it on. Let me close my door real quick. The y has to be by itself in order for you to graph it in decimals. So for this one, the y is already by itself. Awesome. I don't have to do anything there. But for this one, the y is not by itself. So let's go ahead and solve for y. So put your box around your y. I have to move the 5 and the 10x. I move what's furthest away. What's furthest away? 10x or 5? 10x, right? So I'm going to do minus 10x minus 10x. 5y equal, what's negative 15 minus 10x? I can't do that because the 15 doesn't have an x. So I rewrite it. X first. That 10x, is it positive or negative? Negative. That 15, positive or negative? Negative. And then I almost have that y by itself. Remember, whenever two things are next to each other, that's multiplying. So I divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. And then I have that y equals negative 10 over 5x minus 15 over 5. But really, I can reduce that. What's negative 10 divided by 5? That's just negative 1, sorry, negative 2. Negative 2x. Negative 10 divided by 5 is negative 2x. Negative 15 divided by 5 is just negative 3. So there you go. This is y equals negative 2x minus 3. So I'm going to type both of these in. So y equals 3x plus 17. Let me delete all this. Y equals 3x plus 17. And then y equals negative 2x. Y equals negative 2x minus 3. Look at where they cross right here. They're asking for the x value. So what's the x value? Negative 4. So if they ask you for the y value would have been 5, right? All right, so that's how you do that one. And last question. There's like 2 questions like this on your final exam. So please make sure you know how to do this one too, okay? So remember, this is graphing inequalities. This is the last thing that we learned. To graph this, you need to have the y by itself. The y is not by itself because you have the negative 3 and you have the 5x. So first, let's solve for y. Okay, so I move what's furthest away. What's furthest away? The 5x or the negative 3? The 5x. So do minus 5x because you do the opposite. I rewrite it. Bring everything down. I can't do negative 15 minus 5x because that 15 doesn't have an x. So I rewrite it. X first. So negative 5x. That 15, is it positive or negative? Negative. And then I have to still get rid of the negative 3. What operation is it when they're next to each other like that? Multiplying. So you divide by negative 3. That goes away. Divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. So you're going to have y is less than or equal to, oh wait, I divided by a negative. So I had to flip my sign. Negative 5 divided by negative 3. That doesn't give you a whole number. It still gives you a fraction. But a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I'm going to reduce it to just positive 5 over 3x. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 is positive 5. So if you've been paying attention, you should know that if it's greater than, you shade above. Also, if it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, this is going to be a solid line. So I know that it's not B because B is a dashed line. I know that is also not going to be D because D is also a dashed line. Okay, and I shade above the line. I shade above the line. So I think my answer is going to be A because that's shaded above, right? So that's how you do that one. All right, guys, that's it for the final exam. I really hope that you guys paid attention. And this was just a review. Like, you should already know how to do all this stuff. If you took notes, awesome. Make sure you bring them on the final exam day because I will not let you turn in the notes late. Okay, to get the 15 points extra credit. If you have any questions, please message me, email me, whatever. And that's all I have for today. You guys have a great weekend. And sorry I didn't make the video last night. I was too tired, but that's why I made it early this morning. So, yeah. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good day.